Hi, I'm Dr. Patrice, and I am a volunteer with Saved in the City. I got connected to Saved in the City through a friend, but I've seen Saved in the City on Instagram before. I decided to go to one of their city nights, and that's when I was first introduced to Saved in the City. The end of 2023, I felt a strong urge to volunteer with Saved in the City. And right as I was becoming a volunteer, they had a teens ministry, and I was like, oh, I have to be a part of that. Like, I love teenagers. And while we were at the teens ministry, I think the first meeting was in February, and we met all the girls, and there was one particular girl there. She was pregnant. She was pretty far along in her pregnancy, and we talked for a few minutes, and that was it. In April, we had another meeting. We were stretching and she kind of slipped. And at that point, we cleared the room out. It was just me, her, and her aunt. I got to kind of talk to her and I was trying to calm her down. So I was like, hey, did you have your baby shower this weekend? And her aunt was like, no, we're not having a baby shower. So at that point, it kind of opened the door for me and her aunt to kind of talk. Her aunt began to express to me that they were looking to give the baby up for adoption. They wanted it to be an open adoption. Me and my husband have been on a fertility journey for at least 5 years at this point. We had a late term miscarriage, and we were trying to get back into the swing of just are we gonna try again? What we gonna do? And I had always wanted to adopt. My husband never wanted to adopt. But when she mentioned it to me that day, I went home and I said, hey babe, this opportunity has presented itself. What do you think? And he was like, I don't know, let me pray about it. And he came back to me a week or so later and was like, I think God is saying this is for us. So I told her we may be interested, and then I saw her and her aunt at a City Nights event. Her aunt was like, I'm gonna call you tomorrow so that we can talk. And so the date was April 13th, I'll never forget it. Her aunt called me and was like, no, it's always been you. It's you. You guys are the family that we're choosing. And I think her due date was April 28th. So I was like, okay, we had nothing but a by faith crib that my mom had bought me a few years ago. And so we were like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna jump full on. We're gonna call attorneys on Monday. He was born on the 26th of April, and we got to bring home this beautiful baby boy on April 27th. And so I feel like God used Saved in the City to connect me to his birth mom so that we can have this beautiful baby boy that we're taking care of now, Jackson. Our life has been great ever since then, but before that we had a lot of loss. I lost my brother in December 2021, and then in 2022 we conceived after we had been trying for years, and on my brother's birthday in 2023 I had a miscarriage. So my relationship with God at that point was really strained. So after my brother transitioned, I actually walked away from a ministry that I had been a part of for almost 20 years. And I met Brittany. She was like, well, I go to Belong Church. I want you guys to come and be my guests. And I started going to that church. And from that day to this one, I've been a member. And it has healed me in ways that I didn't even think possible. And then the adoption came up earlier this year in April, and I was super excited about the adoption, but I was still pulling back and not wanting to thank God, because I was like, you've taken so much, and I didn't want him to take this baby from me. I came to Saved in the City one day. Ty took my son into the other room, and she was like, well, how are you really? And for the first time I was able to really say where I was with God. And she turned on some worship music and she was like, just write to him how you're feeling. And I felt like it didn't matter because he knew, because God is all knowing. And she was like, but there's a difference between him knowing and you sharing it. And I began to write God this letter and tell him all the reasons I was mad at him and all the things. And I was scared at first, putting it out, you're not supposed to tell God you're mad at him. You're not supposed to be angry with God or question him. Once I finished and I explained to him, I felt like he was like, thank you. Him being worthy just had a whole new meaning to me. And after that day, I felt like it was like, okay, this is the God I serve. This is my Father. And me and my husband were trying to buy a house for over a year, and suddenly the doors opened up and we closed within 45 days. And we're currently in our new home with a lovely backyard for our new baby. So I feel like if it wasn't for Saved in the City and it wasn't for that moment, I would have still been in a place where I was very distant. And instead of knowing him as Jehovah Jireh and Jehovah Shalom and all these big names that we give him, I'm learning to know him simply as Father and how to simply be a daughter and experience his love in a whole new way. Grab your family and become a part of this ministry. My husband is grateful for this ministry. My son will be grateful for this ministry. When you come into Saved in the City, and you really get connected to the ministry, it's almost like you're just seen for the first time. It's just been a blessing to the entire family. So I say, go ahead, take the plunge, jump full in, and do what God is telling you to do, because you never know what's on the other side of your yes.